Um, you've tagged many sharks during your career. Tell me, in what ways has this helped to define better marine protected areas?
Well, we started tagging with these coded tags, and we installed bottom mounted listening stations around Wolf Island and Darwin Island. We were able to show that the sharks move from between the islands. Actually, a number of the sharks that we tagged was kind of amazing. 12 of them left as a school after we tagged them at Wolf and went to Darwin. But these tags uh, allow you to determine residency. The problem is generally they're external, so they're rubbed off. So it's really important to catch the animal and put it in the body cavity of the animal. We've also put satellite tags on sharks, hammerhead sharks, and Alex Hearn is about to publish uh, 12 years of our doing that. But they don't last. They don't stay on. Again, this is external, so they don't stay on the shark that long. Um, and I'm not so interested in conservation. I'm an animal behaviorist, and I'm interested uh, in the ocean. It's we can only see maybe oh 50 feet, 30 feet. Uh, in the air, we can see miles. Yet animals in the ocean go from one place to another. I tagged a hammerhead shark at an underwater mountain in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the ocean, 20 miles from shore, and it went 10 miles away in the middle of the night, moonless night, turned around and came right back to the seamount. How do they do that? Now you go to the store, you go on a road, there's asphalt, there's white line, and there's a yellow line on the outside. And but animals in the ocean don't have that. And I did a magnetometer survey of this seamount, going around and around and around and around it with a magnetometer, and found that there were magnetic ridges leading from it, and then I superimposed the sharks' movements on this map and found that they were moving along these magnetic ridges and valleys. Um, and it was very controversial at the time. A little, maybe Yanis might say, a little less. Yanis, of course, has done an experiment where he was looking at the detection of magnetic fields. A wonderful experiment, actually. It's a small world, isn't it? But
It is.
somebody that's done work on it too, and and it's still they always want to explain an animal's navigation ability by its somehow determining its location by knowing the magnetic intensity and the inclination and everything. But a more simple way of doing it is piloting. Now, I went to South America and to Argentina, Buenos Aires, and I was on a ship that traveled all the way around the point and came back to Chile. And that ship was staying almost in vision of shore. It was piloting. It was doing what I think sharks do, like a helicopter going along a power line or a road, not a plane that has a direction and so forth, GPS, So anyway, and it's probably one mechanism of orient. So white sharks, when they go to uh, Hawaii, okay, most of the time, for 3/4, they're at the surface. And at the surface, the Earth's main field, which is a dipole, negative and positive, is dominant. And they can, by measuring with the hammerhead, I wanted to study hammerheads because of the head. I thought it's incredible. It's so different. It's a bizarre adaptation. If I could understand its function, maybe I could understand something very important in the ocean. And I believe it's a gradiometer. And running on the beach before I did my magnetometer survey, I ran with a very famous geophysicist, and I was telling him what I was doing. He said, "Well, give me a gradiometer, and I could find it easily myself." Okay, so here's a little anthropomorphization, but anyway, um, so that's a really important question. It's a behavioral question. Now, Yanis probably has something to say about that. He's not only a behaviorist, but he's a top-notch ecologist and wonderful modeling statistics he used. So he's something, and he's tagged a lot of sharks too. The interesting thing, by the way, now is I'm involved in the studies of Mobula. Mobula's array, the manta ray. Now, when I was at Seamount, they're just moving slowly. They're dumb cows. They're feeding on the grass, but they're not at all. The reef manta ray has 8 different types of feeding. It sometimes they stack on top of each other. Sometimes they get in a line. Sometimes they go around in circles to concentrate the zooplankton. So rays have interesting behavior too. Even the planktivores, the ones that eat plankton, and then when they mate, they get in these whirlpools. They go around and around, and then the male and the female go off and do the thing. And anyway, Yanis, why don't you say a little something about your tagging and what you found?
No, I'll just say, because I had spoken a little bit about it before you came along, but I would say that your Hammerhead study now is not considered controversial. I think you got it right. I wasn't around in the 80s when it came out, but
So this is a lesson to you youngsters.
yeah,
I tried to publish that 8 times. One time, when I heard from Europe that I needed to do this and this and this, I said to my wife, I don't want to die before I publish this. And finally, in the 8th attempt, there'd been some experiments done in Hawaii showing that tuna detect magnetic fields. And so the editor was willing to take a risk. And because it was criticized so many times, I ended up having to write a paper 23 pages long in a journal that generally likes papers that are less than 5 pages long. So anyway, and I love the fact now that I'm old and I'm retired, but I'm writing a book. I'm editing a book on complex behavior in the marine environment with papers on everything from limpet territoriality to tube-blenny all kinds of. But anyway, that we have young people or middle-aged people like Yanis to carry the football over the line.